Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Alumni Association of the City College of New York's 141st Annual Alumni Gala. Your host for the evening, a member of the Alumni Association Board of Directors and President of the Communications Alumni Group, Mr. Javier Garcia, of the classes of 2009 and 2015.
Good evening. Welcome, alumni, family members, college faculty, staff, friends, and community members. Welcome to the Alumni Association of the City College of New York's 141st Annual Alumni Gala. My name is Javier Garcia. I had the fortunate opportunity to attend the City College of New York for both my undergrad and graduate degrees. I earned a bachelor's degree in 2009, majoring in media and communication arts with a focus on advertising and public relations. And in 2015, I completed my master's through CCNY's Master of Professional Studies in Branding and Integrated Communications, the BIC program. The education I received at CCNY allowed me to pursue numerous career opportunities. First, as an advertising account executive for some of the world's largest brands, then as an entrepreneur and a communications consultant, and most recently as a professor, teaching here at City College and at City Tech in Brooklyn. As a native New Yorker, born and raised in the projects of East Harlem, I serve as proof of the power that City College has in transforming its students' lives. It is an honor to be your host for this prestigious event. We begin in front of the North Academic Center, or NAC building. Located at 137th Street and Convent Avenue, it is an appropriate spot to begin this annual alumni event. The NAC was completed in 1984, and its design is meant to suggest a ship's bow from various angles. The NAC houses two cafeterias, the Colin Library, Benny's Spirits Store, student lounges, and a majority of the college's general education classrooms, as well as the offices for the School of Education, the Division of Humanities and the Arts, the Colin Powell School, the Dominican Studies Program, the Sikh Program, WHCR, and Benny's Food Pantry, among other important programs and campus services. And some of you watching tonight may best know this location as the previous site of Lewiston Stadium. Named after financier and philanthropist Adolph Lewiston for his contribution towards construction, the amphitheater opened in 1915 and stood between Amsterdam and Convent Avenue from 136th to 138th Streets. It had a seating capacity of 8,000 and hosted many athletic, musical, and theatrical events. And today, here I stand on Adolph Lewiston Plaza, next to our seal, the City College seal, of which we are all familiar, with our motto, Respice, Aspice, and Prospice, or to examine the past, the present, and the future. Tonight, at this annual alumni tradition, the Alumni Association presents an event where we will do just that. We will reminisce about our shared past, we will celebrate the achievements of our Townsend Harris medalists and current students, we will show the campus as it exists today, and we'll hear where this incredible school is headed. Tonight, we carry on a 141-year-old tradition of breaking bread and raising a glass, together, in honor of fellow alumni and their achievements, and in honor of the alumni that are yet to come. To that end, to begin our program, let's cross Convent Avenue, make our way through George Washington Gate, and into Shepherd Hall, where we have a special guest waiting for us. The historic Great Hall, located in Shepherd Hall, is unforgettable with its stained glass windows and marble columns that rise to a height of 65 feet. This cathedral-like venue is the crown jewel of the City College of New York, hosting banquets, graduations, and conferences. Edwin H. Blashfield's mural, titled The Graduate, looks over the hall, depicting the passing of wisdom from the alma mater onto a young scholar. Well, what a surprise. Look who we have here. It's Benny. Is this glass of wine for me? Thanks, Benny. How have you been? Did you get vaccinated yet? I'm so glad to see that. Well, thank you, Benny. It's just so great you're here. And look, Benny knows traditions are important. And despite these challenging times, the Alumni Association decided a virtual gala was better than no gala at all. So please, wherever you might be in the world, and regardless if you're wearing your tux or your pajamas, let's raise a glass and toast to the City College of New York and its alumni. We salute the bravery and resilience of CCNY alum during the pandemic. We are CCNY strong. We overcome challenges and we persevere. Cheers. Tonight, we celebrate 7 incredible graduates who have gone on from City to achieve their dreams. Our honorees are Joel Dreyfus, class of 71, Richard Fazzini, class of 63, Dr. Alan Fleshman, class of 66, Lynn Scott Jackson, class of 17, Miles Lewitt, class of 77, Dr. Lori Zephyrin, class of 97, Dr. Ralph Zingaro, class of 46. Also featured tonight, scholarship recipients, special anniversary classes, and our esteemed Finley Award recipient, Dr. Deborah Lipstadt, also a City College alumna. And as we make our way through tonight's program, please remember to make your donation to the Alumni Association. This event is our only major fundraiser and a major contributor to our annual budget. So if you believe in our mission of supporting and engaging alumni and current students, while continuing to promote this great college we all call alma mater, please support us tonight with a contribution that is meaningful to you. On the homepage of this event, you'll find an opportunity to learn more about our organization, the suggested donation levels, and other ways to interact or get involved. The Alumni Association is a 501c3, and every dollar donated may be tax deductible, depending on your individual tax circumstances. We do not receive operating funds from the college or university. We are an alumni-supported, alumni-directed organization. Please help keep our doors open by donating today. And now, I'd like to introduce Gary Kalnick, President of the Alumni Association Board of Directors. He has had a distinguished career in public service, a product of the New York City Public Schools, a graduate of City College. Gary co-chaired one of the largest New York City labor management quality of work-life programs. He was a major player in creating the career path for Asian, Black, Latino, and female staff in New York City emergency medical services, and later in his career, consolidating the human resources functions at Harlem Hospital, Lincoln Medical and Mental Health Center, and Metropolitan Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gary Kalnick.
Good evening, and welcome to the Alumni Association second virtual gala, the 141st annual event, recognizing and celebrating some of our graduates of distinction. Special greetings are extended to Vincent Boudreau, 13th President of the City College of New York. Our 74th Finley Award recipient, Dr. Deborah Lipstadt. President Joseph Biden nominated Dr. Lipstadt, a Townsend Harris medalist and member of the Alumni Association, as U.S. Ambassador to combat and monitor anti-Semitism. Her nomination during a period of increasing anti-Semitism is a sense of pride for the Alumni Association and the college, consistent with our commitment to serve and support a diverse community of alumni, faculty, staff, and students. Additionally, it is my honor to welcome and mention our 7 2021 Townsend Harris medalists: Joel Dreyfus, class of '71, editor, news producer, columnist, writer, and bassist; Richard Vicini, class of '63, archaeologist and retired museum curator emeritus, specializing in Egyptian art, history, and archaeology; Dr. Alan Fleischman, class of '66, professor of pediatrics, epidemiology, and population health at Albert Einstein College of Medicine and Children's Hospital at Montefiore Hospital; Lynn Scott Jackson, class of '17, distinguished lecturer and director of the Internship, Industrial Relations, and Professional Development at the CCNY Media and Communications Arts; Miles Lewitt, class of '73, corporate vice president, engineering manager, business strategist, computer product architect, and software developer; Dr. Lori Zephyrin, class of '97, vice president, advanced health equity at the Commonwealth Fund, and former deputy undersecretary for health, community care, U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs; and last, Dr. Ralph Zingaro, class of '46, PhD chemistry. I have a unique connection to him, as his CCNY undergraduate year is my birth year, and the year he received the Faculty Research Award from Texas A&M University in 1967 was my graduation year. We are joined together. The reason he is being honored tonight has no relationship to the shared numbers. Jane Tillman Irving, former president of the Communication Affiliate, will share his distinction when she formally introduces all the awardees and medalists. Special mention and appreciation is due to the individuals and businesses that have contributed significantly to underwriting this event. You will be acknowledged and thanked separately. Finally, on behalf of the Executive Committee, Board of Directors, past Alumni Association presidents, plus current affiliate and chapter presidents, as well as Townsend Harris medalists and association staff, it is my pleasure to welcome and thank all of you who are participating in our second annual gala for your presence and financial support. A special mention of appreciation is due to the affiliate chapter presidents for successfully managing the challenging situation of an in-person operation in a virtual environment. I also want, again, to acknowledge and salute the collaboration of the Asian and Black alumni affiliates through Jerry Moy, Vice President of the Asian Alumni, and Quincy Allen, President of the Black Alumni, in jointly releasing a statement against anti-Asian and Black bias deplored by both groups. We also deplore the anti-Semitism that has been increasing. I want to acknowledge the recent death of Patricia Black. She made her mark in New York City through her many contributions as a dedicated educator, initially as a teacher and subsequently as a principal and superintendent of high schools for the New York City Department of Education, formerly the Board of Education. Pat, as her friends called her, was a lifetime member of the Alumni Association of City College, a former president of the association, and a Townsend Harris medalist. Her leadership and service are appreciated. After my remarks, Dr. Vince Boudreau, president of City College, and Andrew Rich, dean of the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership, will be delivering remembrances on behalf of the college campus community on the recent and untimely death of Colin Powell, a City College graduate, a distinguished and accomplished public servant, whose affection for the college, its students, and the faculty are legendary. His legacy will thrive through the achievements of the past and future graduates of the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership. This is the second year when my remarks are more serious than I usually prefer at a gala. However, not to briefly address what is occurring would be irresponsible and inconsistent with the CCNY tradition. We know the issues: the anti-vaxxers, the increasing denial of facts, the false cures, the willingness to embrace and promulgate the conspiracy of the day, the increasing abandonment of societal norms, the senseless and random ethnic, racial, and religious mischief and assault, the over 3,199 assaults and disruptions in airports and on airplanes, the big lie that the 2020 presidential election was stolen, the consistent silence and complicity of some elected officials who see, know, and hear no evil, the climate deniers, despite the horrendous fires and devastating floods, the January 6th assault on Congress and the Capitol. We can stipulate that the facts are known. Pat Moynihan, former New York State Senator, indicated everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but not their own facts. I would add, or immune from accountability when their actions threaten the well-being of society and our democracy. What is still a question is the role we will choose to perform in communicating our preferences on the road forward for our democracy. Will we repeat the errors of the past and watch the worst occur and then claim we never thought it would actually happen? Remember, bad things happen when responsible people fail to act or tolerate irresponsibility. As a society, we have been overly permissive and tolerant if things do not impact us directly. Our inaction has emboldened the offenders. There is a point when failure to react is complicity. We know what we have. We know what we cherish, value, and need to protect. History has shown that societies which fail only truly appreciate what they had after they have lost it. Let us not waste the opportunity the 2022 elections, national, state, and local, presents to make our preference known while we are still players in which way we want our democracy to go. Ted Kennedy, reflecting on his failure to earlier support the Republican health plan, stated, "Don't let the ideal be the enemy of the good. Perfection is elusive and rarely achieved." Before ending these remarks, there are a number of additional acknowledgements that are needed. The Executive Committee and Board of Directors also want to convey and express our appreciation to the alumni staff, led by David Covington, for their continued efforts on behalf of the Alumni Association, including last year's highly successful gala, as well as the support to affiliates, chapters, and the general membership. Acknowledgement of Ellen and Elaine Golden, directors and program committee co-chairs. Sean Chin Chance, board secretary and president of the Political Science Affiliate, for his role as master of ceremonies at last year's gala. Ann Mancuso, a former AA president, and Andrew McGowan for their editing of the journal and script for this evening. Jane Tillman Irvin, announcer of the Finley and Townsend Harris medalists. Ann Mancuso and Javier are also members of the Communication Alumni. Finally, thank you, the members, plus the families and friends of our awardees and recipients, for your participation and financial support. We thought at the 2020 Gala that tonight would be an in-person event. However, the reluctance of some to get the vaccine and its mutations prevented New York City from achieving 100% compliance. I am pleased that many of us received the vaccination. We're above 80% generally and 90% in some areas. We urge all those who have not been vaccinated to please do so. We are strong, we overcome challenges, and we persevere. Go Beavers, and thank you for your attention. I return you to our Master of Ceremony, Javier Garcia, President of the Communication Alumni Affiliate and a faculty member at CCNY. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. I am pleased to introduce now the President of the City College of New York, Dr. Vincent Boudreau. Dr. Boudreau is the former Dean of the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership and is a specialist in the politics of social movements, particularly in Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, President Boudreau.
It's a real pleasure to be able to be with you this evening to celebrate the 141st Gala of the Alumni Association of the City College of New York. I want to congratulate the leadership of the association and so thankful that so many of you can be with us here tonight. I'm going to lead with the big news. A few weeks ago, the Wall Street Journal named the City College of New York the #1 best value in education institution in the entire country. And in doing that, they combine two measures. The first is the quality of the education. In other words, it doesn't matter if your education is inexpensive if it's no good. And the cost of education. Putting those things together and looking at us against Ivy League schools and the Stanfords and the University of Chicago's and the Duke Universities, City College came out as the #1 institution in the country. And I'm particularly proud of that because it says the mission on which we were founded in 1847, the mission of making sure that a quality education is available to the whole people, continues. It doesn't just continue. We today embody that value, that proposition, better than any college in the nation. I'm proud of that. You should be proud of that too. I think a lot about those ideas, the values and the mission that people brought to our founding in 1847 this year, because this year we are launching the beginning of the commemoration of our 175th year anniversary, 1847 to 2022. And you're going to hear a lot about this celebration over the course of the next year. In fact, we've already had a bulletin board up in Harlem at the corner of Adam Clayton Powell and 125th Street announcing our celebration, 175 years of producing upward mobility, and kind of saying, watch this space for more news about CCNY. As part of this celebration, we are inaugurating a new tradition this year that we will maintain going forward. We've always done our class reunions around graduation time, and I've never been really happy with that because those class reunions get kind of lost in the shuffle of all the hubbub. Last year, of course, we weren't able to do a class reunion. So this year, we are doing last year's class reunion and this year's class reunions together. And we're not just doing the 10-year anniversaries, we're doing the 10s and the 5s. So if you graduated in 1940, 1941, 1945, 1946, 1950, 1951, 1955, 1956, 1960, 1961, 1965, 1966, and all the way through until 2021. This is your class reunion year, and we're going to be doing the class reunion in conjunction with the President's Gala in early May, which lines up with Lavender Week, and it lines up with Charter Day, the anniversary of our founding, and that will be when we launch formally the commemoration of our 175th year. So it's a big moment in the history of the college, a big moment in this year and on our calendar to bring people who love this institution. And if you're listening to me now, I know you're in that number. Bring them together to mark this milestone in our history. When you do come to the gala, when you're able next, even if it's not at the gala, at some other occasion, to be with us in the Great Hall, I'd like you to look up into the rafters. For years, I've been bringing people into the Great Hall, a room that I love, and talking about the iconography of that sacred room, built as the symbolic and sacred center of CCNY, with all of the symbolism of the stained glass windows donated from colleges and universities around the country, that magnificent fresco embodying the opportunity that we provide to the whole people. And I've always said that if you look up at the flags hanging in the rafters, they're placeholders. They indicate, but don't replicate, the original flags that were donated to City College when the Great Hall was built in 1907. Flags donated from the great universities of the world. During the pandemic, we had the occasion to renovate the Great Hall, to paint it, to buff up some of the lights, fix some things that had fallen into disrepair. And when we did that, we went to the archives and recreated the flags as they were originally donated. So when you walk into the Great Hall next time and you look around, it is as close as it has ever been in the last 80 years to looking like what the Great Hall looked like in 1907 when Mark Twain spoke and inaugurated that space and that building and the uptown campus that currently houses the Great Hall. It was important to me to do that, to restore that most sacred space as closely as possible to its original positioning, as a way of emphasizing the fact that the dreams and visions and plans and missions that enlivened us at our founding remain vibrant. Apart from being, the best value in American higher education today, we're also in the top 5 in producing social mobility, top 10 in diversity, increased rankings across the board in virtually every college ranking system. And so you take all of those assessments of the work that we've been doing, and the message is clear. The mission of extending educational opportunity to the whole people, of changing the lives and futures of the people who come to City College, is as strong today at your college as it's ever been. This has been a tough year. We have lost so many members of our faculty, members of our staff, the family and friends of our students, and we're still not where we really need to be. In the spring, however, every faculty member will be teaching classes in person. 70% of our classes will be fully in person. Athletic events will have full stands. lectures and student activities will be in full swing, and as much as is possible, we will be, after 2 long years, back to looking like the college we were before the pandemic struck. But it's taken a toll. We've lost 4 distinguished professors over the course of this pandemic. We've lost public safety officers and facilities workers. It's been difficult, both in terms of the lives and the security of the people who work here, and what it's meant to be a college. We've done a heroic job in continuing to educate students virtually and online, but nobody will say that online education is anything compared to the experience of being in the room with your student colleagues and your faculty professor and the staff that run so many of our enhancement programs. City College has a campus, and the experience of being on this campus, as you all know, is unlike anything you would get in any college campus across the country. And we will be back in the spring, I promise you. One of the people we lost to COVID, of course, is General Colin Powell, somebody who I have worked with closely for almost 20 years, both in the Colin Powell Center and then in the Colin Powell School, and now in the President's office. And I want to leave you with one thought about General Powell and his relationship to the college. He had no patience for anyone who suggested that there was any such thing as the old City College and the new City College, the students who used to be on this campus and the students who are on this campus right now. He saw today's students as the living embodiment of who he was when he stepped on this campus. He saw this institution today as doing for our students what it did for him and his classmates back in the 1950s. He was an ardent supporter of this college, first for what it did for him and his family, but second, for what it does for the city and for this country. Whenever I talked to General Powell, when things looked rough, and I don't just mean for the school, I mean times of national security challenges, times when maybe as a society we seem to have lost our way, he would say to me repeatedly, "Don't lose faith in America. We are bigger, we are stronger, we are more resilient than the troubles of the day." And when he thought about America, he thought about City College. And when he thought about City College, he thought about the continuity between the ambitious, vibrant dreams embodied in our founding in 1847 and the work that we've done every year since then. He was proud of our college. I am deeply proud of our college, and I hope you are too. It's a tremendous pleasure to be with you tonight. A tremendous gift to be able to take a deep breath and look back at where we've been and why we've traveled that journey and where we are going. I want to thank you for your support of the college. I want to thank you for being here. I want to encourage you with me to look forward to a vibrant future, to your alma mater, the City College of New York. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of the night.
General Colin L. Powell, class of 1958, was a remarkably accomplished individual who never forgot where he came from. Son of Jamaican immigrants, raised in the Bronx in a working-class community, his life was the depiction of the American dream. His distinguished public service career is filled with notable contributions, including 4-star Army General, the 65th and 1st Black U.S. Secretary of State, the 16th U.S. National Security Advisor, and the 12th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He was twice the recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. General Powell had a long-standing relationship with the Alumni Association as a lifetime member, and in 1987 he was awarded the Townsend Harris Medal in recognition of his distinguished career and numerous accomplishments. His major and enduring legacy, however, is in the development of future leaders in public service through the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership at City College. Here to speak of what Colin Powell meant to the City College community, please welcome the Dean of the Colin Powell School, Andrew Rich.
Good evening. I'm Andy Rich. I'm Dean of the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership here at City College. It's an honor to be with you this evening under what are difficult circumstances. We lost our namesake, General Colin Powell, just a couple of weeks ago to a breakthrough case of COVID. And it's my pleasure to be with you to just share some remembrances of General Powell, and particularly his involvements here at City College. General Powell is the son of Jamaican immigrants. He was born here in Harlem, grew up in the South Bronx, and as he was proud to say, when it came to college, it was City College or nowhere. He didn't have choices, and it was funny, he used to tell the story when he was going around the country giving speeches. People would always ask him about West Point. And he said, I couldn't go to West Point. West Point wouldn't take me. It was only City College. And then he would take as much time as anybody would give him to tell him all the stories he could remember about his time at City College. He was a 1958 graduate of City College, a geology major. He was, as he would say, a good, not great student. But it was at City College that he found ROTC, and he found his passion and his direction. And as I think everybody watching tonight knows, went on to do great things. I won't say much about his career because I think everybody knows really the path he took, except just to point out what a trailblazer he was. He was, at the highest levels of government and the highest levels of the military, the first Black American to have almost every job he had. And he knocked open doors for himself that he made sure to leave open for those who came behind him. It was in 1997 that City College created the Colin Powell Center for Policy Studies. It was thanks to a gift from another alum, Jack Rudin, who wanted to do something at his college to honor Colin Powell, and General Powell was kind enough at that time to give us permission to use his name in creating the center, but it wasn't until he actually finished his service as Secretary of State in 2003, 2004, that he called up the college and he said, I want to know what you're doing in my name, and he planned to visit up here. And we, by that point, now President Vince Boudreau, at the time he was chair of the political science department, had become the director of the Colin Powell Center, and I had the privilege as an assistant professor to become the deputy director. And General Powell came up and we put him in a room with the first 8 Colin Powell Fellows. We had created a center that was focused on leadership development and civic engagement, getting our students out into public service. And he had them go around the table and introduce themselves, tell them their stories. And he got to the end of listening to these 8 young people tell their stories, and he said, my God, you're just like I was 50 years ago. And it was at that moment that he recommitted himself to this college. He became the chair of the Colin Powell Center, and he helped us to grow it into something much larger than it was, a campus-wide center for leadership and community engagement. He helped us raise resources. He helped us raise the profile. He helped us bring anyone who he met around the country who would show some interest to campus to meet our students and to understand the work that we were doing. And then 8 years ago, we transformed the Division of Social Sciences into the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership, bringing the Colin Powell Center, the principles of leadership, public service, community engagement to the entire school. And today we're the largest student unit of the college. He was our chairman, he was our leader throughout. He not only chaired the board and helped us develop resources, he helped us think about the strategic direction that we took. He was a mentor. He was there for our students. And just a couple of stories that sit prominently in my mind. Every time he had a meeting on campus, he would show up early. He would sit outside this building, or stand outside this building in Shepherd Hall, and meet students. He'd ask them to introduce themselves to him. He'd tell them about his story, and they would bond over what the college experience here was like. He'd stay late after meetings and do the same thing. And then once we had the school, the Colin Powell School, he was here for every single graduation. He would shake the hand of every graduate as they walked towards the stage. I remember on my first occasion as dean asking him if he'd join us on the platform and make some remarks. He said, "No, this isn't about me today, and it's about the students." And I always would joke with him, but your name is on the name of the school. But nevertheless, he wanted to sit out in the audience. And I think it's a real testament to what I learned to be his humility, his kindness, his concern, his caring, first and foremost for our students and for now our graduates of the Colin Powell School and of City College. He was an extraordinary leader for this place and an extraordinary leader to have had the opportunity to work with. And he is going to be missed by all of us. We are incredibly fortunate to have his daughter, Linda Powell, as a member of our Board of Visitors, and the family is deeply committed as we move forward to staying involved as leaders with the school. It's an amazing story, and it's a City College story. It's a story of our students. It's a story of our alumni. He is one of you, and I think sets an example for all of our students and our new alumni about how it's not just talking about City College, but it's actually giving back. It's about giving your time. It's about being engaged as leaders. And to my time here at City College, there's no one who embodied that more than Colin Powell, and we very much mourn his passing. Thanks for a chance to say a few words.
Now, I'm so very excited to begin this next segment, the presentation of the Townsend Harris Medals. The Townsend Harris Medal is the preeminent award of alumni achievement. It is, of course, named after the founder of City College, Townsend Harris. Established in 1933 by a gift from the class of 1906, Townsend Harris Medals are awarded each year at this event to alumni who have outstanding postgraduate achievement in their chosen fields. Candidates are selected from nominations by a special committee comprised of former recipients of the medal and is subject to final approval by the Alumni Association Board of Directors. Here are tonight's winners of the 2021 Townsend Harris Medal.
Joel Dreyfus, a native of Haiti, earned a BS degree in liberal arts at the City College in 1971 and was an urban journalism fellow at the University of Chicago. His career as a journalist and editor spans 5 decades, including roles as a columnist, editor, writer, news producer, and on-air talent for outlets including Fortune, The Washington Post, Black Enterprise, and the Associated Press. Dreyfus has won journalism awards from the Overseas Press Club, a Lifetime Achievement Award from the New York Association of Black Journalists, and is a member of the City College Communications Alumni Hall of Fame. He is also a co-founder and a member of the Hall of Fame of the National Association of Black Journalists. His talents extend to the world of music, with credits as a bassist on several albums. Joel is currently working on a book about his family's 300-year relationship with Haiti.
Greetings from Paris. Thank you very much for this award. I learned about Townsend Harris and about the award in his name shortly after I got to City College. I could not imagine then that I would one day be a recipient of this honor. Like many before me, I was an immigrant. I enrolled at City because the price was right. It was still the era of free tuition, but I quickly fell in love with the college, the variety of backgrounds, the dedicated teachers, and the level of intellectual discourse in that most important place of learning, the North Campus cafeteria. I was a student during the tumultuous 60s, and there was plenty of tumult on campus as well. I soon found myself writing for 2 campus papers, Tech News and the Observation Post. Those connections led directly to my first job at the AP and the launch of a 50-year journalism career. I stayed connected to City after graduating and served on the alumni board. I worried when it seemed politicians were willing to sacrifice the college's high standards for expediency. I always believed that excellence and diversity were fully compatible, and I'm glad that we're once again heading in the right direction. Remember that the idea of tuition-free college was a bold experiment in 1847, and it's still a bold idea today. We've had 174 years of proof that it pays society back handsomely. Let's make sure that in our 175th year, the gates to opportunity that open for us remain open for succeeding generations.
In you, Joel Dreyfus, your alma mater has particular reason to rejoice. Richard Fazzini, a native of the Bronx, graduated with a BA in Fine Art from the City College in 1963. He pursued graduate work at New York University's Institute of Fine Arts, majoring in ancient Egyptian and Near Eastern art and archaeology. From 1969 to 2006, he worked at the Brooklyn Museum, first as an assistant curator, and from 1983 as chairman of the Department of Egyptian, Classical, and Ancient Middle Eastern Art. He is now curator emeritus. In 1976, he inaugurated the Brooklyn Museum's archaeological expedition to the temple precinct of the goddess Mut at South Karnak in Egypt, an expedition he continues to lead today. From 1999 to 2001, he served as president of the American Research Center in Egypt and was honored with its first Distinguished Service Award in 2004. While formally retired from museum work, he continues to be active in the fields of Egyptian art history, religious iconography, and archaeology.
I am honored and proud to be awarded a Townsend Harris Medal. I owe much of my eventual success to Professors Jacob Rothenberg and Jacob Landy of CCNY's Art Department. They introduced me, a would-be artist, to the study of art history and wrote the letters of recommendation that got me admitted to NYU's Institute of Fine Arts. There I studied Egyptology and archaeology under Professors Fisher, Hansen, and Bothmer. Bothmer, who was also curator of ancient art at the Brooklyn Museum, soon hired me and encouraged my interest in field work. Thus began a career of almost 40 years as a museum curator and close to 50 years as an archaeologist, mostly at Karnak's temple precinct of the goddess Mut, spouse of Amun-Re, king of the gods. The 22-acre site encompasses 3 major temples, several small chapels, a sacred lake, and remains of Ptolemaic and Roman period villages. The work began at Mut in 1976 continues. It has involved scholars from the US, Europe, and Egypt, and now includes a separate expedition from the Johns Hopkins University. As a result of all our efforts, the site opened to the public with new walkways and signage in 2014. As a curator, I have been responsible for a number of installations of the museum's collection of Egyptian art and for developing and arranging for several traveling exhibitions to come to Brooklyn, all with the aim of helping people understand this ancient African civilization. None of this would have happened had I not gone to CCNY and met the two Jacobs. Thank you.
In you, Richard Fazzini, your alma mater has particular reason to rejoice. Dr. Alan R. Fleischman graduated cum laude with a B.S. in pre-medicine from the City College Biomedical Education Program in 1966. He received an M.D. degree with honors from the Albert Einstein College of Medicine in 1970. He was trained in pediatrics at the Johns Hopkins Hospital and became director of newborn medicine at Montefiore Medical Center. Dr. Fleischman has held leadership positions at the New York Academy of Medicine, the National Institutes of Health, and the March of Dimes Foundation, where he developed clinical and research initiatives to prevent preterm birth, infant mortality, and birth defects. Dr. Fleischman also has been a consultant to several federal agencies, including the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Food and Drug Administration. In academia, he has been a pioneer in the fields of neonatology, clinical bioethics, and research ethics. He is currently Professor of Pediatrics, Professor of Epidemiology and Population Health, and Senior Associate in the Center for Bioethics at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine and the Children's Hospital at Montefiore in New York.
First, I want to thank the CCNY Alumni Association for this incredible honor. I grew up in Queens, the son of an immigrant. At City College, I received an excellent education from an extraordinary faculty. But the experiences that transformed my life and affected me most came from interactions with the students and faculty associated with Houseplan Association, a student organization open to all with no restrictions on membership or initiation procedures. Houseplan's innovative human relations and leadership training program emphasized learning about oneself, how to relate to peers, and to respect diverse views and values. As president of Houseplan, I joined other leaders to organize a free tuition march on Albany, where thousands of students successfully convinced Governor Nelson Rockefeller to keep the city university free. After medical school and training in pediatrics, I returned to the Bronx to become director of the newborn program at Montefiore Medical Center. Because of the obvious impact of poverty and disparity on many of the families I cared for, I became committed to understanding the social determinants of health and studied public health, health policy, and bioethics. This led to my involvement with the Hastings Center, the country's leading center for bioethics, and my appointment as a founding member of the New York State Governor's Task Force on Life and the Law that helped pass 10 major legislative and regulatory efforts that transformed decision-making for patients at the end of life in New York and was emulated across the country. My desire to continue to impact the health of populations brought me to the New York Academy of Medicine as senior vice president during the AIDS epidemic. We helped prevent the spread of AIDS and changed it from a universally fatal illness into a chronic condition. I then accepted the position as National Medical Director of the March of Dimes, where we focused on enhancing women's health in order to decrease prematurity and infant mortality. Let me conclude by thanking City College for giving me the foundational support that set me on a wonderful career path and also allowed me to meet my life partner, Linda, with whom I have been happily married for 53 years. Thank you.
In you, Alan R. Fleischman, your alma mater has particular reason to rejoice.
1, 2, 3, 4. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the gala this evening. I'm happy to be performing for you, so please sit back. I'm from the class of 1986 for CUNY, so sit back and enjoy. Drop me off in Harlem, any place in Harlem. There's someone waiting there who makes it seem like heaven up in Harlem. I don't want your Dixie, you can have your Dixie. There's no one down in Dixie who can take me away from my own Harlem. Let me tell you now, Harlem has the southern sky that's in my baby's eyes. I idolize my baby's eyes in uptown classy style. Let me tell you now, if Harlem moves to China, I know nothing finer than to stow away in a plane someday and have to drop me off in Harlem. Harlem has a southern sky that's in my baby's eyes. I idolize my baby's eyes in uptown classy style. Let me tell you now, if Harlem moves to China, I know nothing finer than to stow away in a plane someday. Stow away in a plane someday, then to stow away in a plane someday and have them drop me off in Harlem.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. George Young, class of 2003. Thank you, George, for celebrating with us tonight, and welcome back, everyone. I've been associated with the Alumni Association since 2019, and I currently serve as the president of the Communications Alumni Affiliate. I've seen firsthand the power of the members of our Alumni Association, who make it their duty to support and open doors for one another, especially during times of need. I know many of you joining tonight are members of the association. If you're not, please consider joining tonight. It's a great time to join. We have a lot of exciting new programs and positive change taking place. I know you won't be disappointed. Go to our website, ccnyalumni.org, to learn more and sign up. To those of you who are already members, I would like to personally encourage you to get involved. Join one of our affiliate groups for access to special events, social activities, and for many of our groups, mentoring opportunities and alumni talkbacks. An affiliate is a group within the Alumni Association representing interests and educational specialties. The association currently has 15 affiliate groups. On your screen, you'll see a list of all current affiliate groups and chapters. If you are interested in getting involved, please email membership@ccnyalumni.org or call the office for more information at 212-234-3000. We look forward to seeing you at our next Zoom meeting or, when it's safe to do so, in person. The Alumni Association has a mission that is threefold: to engage alumni, support current students, and promote the college and its interests. When we talk about supporting our students, I want to acknowledge the new mentoring programs that have been developed and implemented via our affiliate groups. However, sometimes it is just about the simple dollars and cents that alumni like you who donate to help our students achieve their dream of a degree. I believe our scholarships hit at the heart of our desire to give back. In our program tonight, you'll see a list of the scholarships we offer on an annual basis, some of this year's recipients, and a list of donors. To help us celebrate this group of students, we have with us tonight a representative from the scholarship recipients.
Hi everyone, my name is Ren. I'm a psychology senior student at the City College of New York. This year, I'm honored to be selected as one of the students who to receive a scholarship from our alum and to give thanks to everyone who has supported us in our academic journey. In the past 4 years, I was actively involved in academic work while also enjoying the internship and other career opportunities provided at our school. As the scholarship recipient, I was enlightened and inspired to further my career in psychology studies. After graduation this year, I'm aiming to continue researching in cognitive psychology, hoping to further understand the process of attention and how it could have been affected by our everyday life experiences. Once again, I would like to say thank you to all who have supported us and who are continually supporting us students at our college. Your generous support has made significant impact in our life and our career development, and it is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Your pursuit of success is inspiring, and we are so happy to know that the Alumni Association was able to assist you, even just a little bit, along your journey through CCNY and on to achieve your dreams. We know that you, watching tonight, also have stories to tell. Should something inspire you tonight, please share your story with us. Contact us at info@ccnyalumni.org. We want to celebrate you and the successes you had on the CCNY campus, the experiences that shaped you and your life's course. Perhaps it's a story about your house plan, your struggle to graduate, or meeting the love of your life on campus. We'd love to hear your story. And who knows, you might just appear in the next issue of the Alumnus magazine. Now, let's continue with our honorees. Here's our next Townsend Harris medalist.
Lynn Scott Jackson received her master's degree in international affairs from the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership at the City College in 2017. She earned a BA in journalism from Howard University's Cathy Hughes School of Communications and became a staff writer for the Tampa Bay St. Pete Times. Strategic communications roles at Hill & Knowlton Strategies, Global WPP, and Uniworld Group followed, before she embarked upon dual career paths as an entrepreneur and educator. In 1997, she launched her consultancy, Millennium Marketing, Media, and Public Affairs, which has developed award-winning integrated marketing and social impact programs for institutions and corporations, including Colgate and PepsiCo. In the early 2000s, she became an adjunct instructor at New York University. She is currently Distinguished Lecturer and Director of Internships, Industry Relations, and Professional Development in the City College Department of Media and Communication Arts. Other honors include Howard University's Outstanding Alumni Award, CCNY's Office of Government and Community Affairs Celebration of Women in Arts and Culture Award, and the Public Relations Society of America, New York President's Award.
Thank you to the entire Alumni Association of the City College of New York family. First, congratulations to all of this evening's honorees. I accept the Distinguished Townsend Harris Medal in memory of CCNY School of Education alumna Peggy Penn, and in honor of educators and champions guiding the next generation. This award represents a 360 moment from my undergraduate days, where I was mentored by many, including Ms. Penn, facilitator of the legendary Howard University Communications Conference. When I was in college, Howard was among the few recruiting sites for media hopefuls. Students of color from HBCUs and beyond made their way to DC each year for this unique experience. This was the 70s, before the general market affirmed the power and authenticity our American mosaic brings to the marketplace. Today, as a Powell School alumna, I channel the dedication of Ms. Penn as I work with CCNY chapters of the Public Relations Student Society of America and the American Advertising Federation on the Building Bridges Career Fair. Our signature event links 30 agencies and nearly 200 attendees, including hiring managers, students, and alumni. What motivates me? Helping students thrive as their life skills journeys unfold. AdPR alumni are here with us this evening, lending their production and content delivery expertise. When David Covington and the board asked students to create CCNY marketing campaigns as part of a client pitch competition, Workshop Team Polaris was commissioned to assist. They represent our most outstanding superstars. On the grassroots level, I've had the pleasure of working with media and communication arts colleagues in support of campaigns for Communal Life, We Act for Environmental Justice, Frederick Douglass Academy, and Harlem One Stop, to name a few. On campus, AdPR students have supported the humanities and the arts, graduate studies, Grove School of Engineering, student affairs, government, community, and cultural affairs, and CCNY libraries, among others. Despite our contributions, there's always more we can do to use our influence and insight to make more of an impact. Let's continue to lead by example as we transform society and transfer knowledge. Thank you, Ms. Penn, Jerry Carlson, Ed Keller, Lynn Applebaum, Barbara Nevins-Taylor, and countless campus collaborators for setting the example and maintaining high standards of excellence. To my husband, Roland, son, Clinton, friends, clients, and business associates, I stand on the shoulders of your unwavering support. Know that your spirit blossoms in others because you've answered yes when I've asked you to invest time, talent, or funds to various projects over the years. Together, we've got this. Thank you again for this tremendous honor.
In you, Lynn Scott Jackson, your alma mater has particular reason to rejoice. Miles Lewitt earned a bachelor's degree in computer science from the City College School of Engineering, summa cum laude, in 1973, and a master's degree in computer science from Arizona State University in 1976. His professional roles include computer product architect, patented inventor, software developer, business strategist, engineering manager, and corporate vice president. His career spans web offerings, commercial software products, tools for software engineers, HWSW for real-time applications, microprocessors, and mainframes. He has written articles for technical magazines and presented at technical conferences, including a keynote address at the Software Engineering Process Group Conference. He has received several honors, including the Product of the Year Award from Electronic Products Magazine in 1980. The City College Grove School of Engineering presented him with the Career Achievement Award in 2013, as well as the Engineering Alumni Award and Eliza Ford Prize in 1973, and an Excellence in Leadership Award from Intuit.
CCNY has had a major positive influence on my life, as a child, as an adolescent, and as an adult. My father, while working as Howard Cosell's radio technician, took evening classes and graduated from CCNY with a degree in electrical engineering. He then went to work for the U.S. Naval Training Device Center. His new job changed my family's life. For example, when I was 8 years old, it enabled us to move to a private home where I got my own bedroom. When I was 16 years old and a senior in high school, I took a National Science Foundation class in computing at CCNY on Saturdays, where I learned how to program in a language called MAD, the Michigan Algorithm Decoder. At the age of 20, I graduated summa cum laude from CCNY with a bachelor's in computer science, and I accepted a position in the advanced engineering program at the Large Information Systems Division of Honeywell. While working at Honeywell, I completed my master's degree at Arizona State University. I have so many vivid memories of my undergraduate years at CCNY. With your indulgence, I'd like to share one. I took a class in canoeing, as the computer science degree had a requirement of 2 physical education classes. In the canoeing class, we practiced maneuvers in the pool, such as the canoe-over-canoe rescue. We also had 2 field trips. The first was on a lake, and the second was on a river. On the river field trip, our professor was in the lead canoe. On the way downriver, we had to traverse a few rapids. Then we heard our professor yell, "Head to shore!" Soon after that, his canoe disappeared from sight. There was a small waterfall directly ahead. 3 canoes went over the waterfall. Fortunately, my canoe mate and I were able to reach shore safely, and no one was seriously injured. Transitioning to my career, with a brief description of a few of my accomplishments. At Intel, I contributed to the PC revolution. I architected the core of RMX86, the first operating system to run on the 8086 microprocessor and its descendants. I was one of 3 engineers that developed the architecture for the first microprocessor that ran Microsoft Windows. Over time, my responsibilities at Intel transitioned into management, eventually becoming responsible for the Intel Systems Group product development organization. I had one assignment at Intel that changed my life. In 1980, Intel sent me to Israel for a year to start a software development group. There is something about moving half a planet away that challenges you and changes your perspective. At that time, Israel had an economy that was based on agriculture. Opportunities for software engineers were mostly in the defense industry. Initially, we hired 20 software engineers to develop system software that facilitated the use of Intel microprocessors. Over time, our success motivated other companies to establish development centers in Israel. Today, Israel is more like Silicon Valley than it is like the San Joaquin Valley. As a corporate vice president at Intuit, I was responsible for developing the infrastructure that enabled Intuit to transition from a desktop financial products company to an internet-based financial solutions provider. I also served as vice president of engineering in the consumer tax and QuickBooks businesses. Over my career, I've had multiple mentors. The 2 most significant were Andy Grove, who the CCNY School of Engineering is now named for, and Steve Bennett. From Dr. Grove, the 2 most important things that I learned are, before making a decision, be sure to have absolute clarity on what you're solving for. And the second is, organizational effectiveness is improved by leveraging management by objectives. From Steve Bennett, I learned something that he learned while he was at General Electric, how to apply Six Sigma to leadership and management. I want to close by saying I'm incredibly grateful for the role that CCNY has played in my life. To be included with individuals that I admire, who have also received the Townsend Harris Medal, is an amazing honor.
In you, Miles Lewitt, your alma mater has particular reason to rejoice.
We at the City Tutors are proud and excited to expand our support of CCNY through a new partnership with the Alumni Association. Whether you're a CCNY alum transitioning into the workforce or are pivoting in search of a new career, our City Mentors program is here to support your next professional steps. The program was founded at CCNY and was created to serve especially the City College community. You can get connected with industry insiders, including CCNY alumni, who can help you with developing your professional documents and with your career exploration. The program is self-paced and remote. City Tutors can match you with a mentor or mentee today, with special preference given to match City College mentors with City College mentees. If you're interested in being a mentor or being mentored, sign up through our website at thecitytutors.org/mentorship. If you have additional questions, feel free to contact me, Gary Rifkin, at grifkin@thecitytutors.org.
Dr. Lori Zephyrin earned her BS in biomedical education from the City College in 1997, her MBA and MPH from Johns Hopkins University, and her MD from the New York University School of Medicine. Dr. Zephyrin is Vice President of Advancing Health Equity at the Commonwealth Fund. She is driven by a passion to transform healthcare, drawing on her experience as a clinician, health policymaker, and entrepreneur. She was the first national director of the Reproductive Health Program at the Department of Veterans Affairs, establishing changes to improve the health of women veterans nationwide. She served as Acting Deputy Undersecretary for Health for Community Care. She has been named a White House Fellow, a Young Global Leader, a Robert Wood Johnson Clinical Scholar, and an Aspen Health Innovator Fellow.
Hello. Thank you to Community Medical School, to Bob Demetrio, Dr. Erica Friedman for all their work and leadership and this incredible nomination. Thank you to the entire City College of New York Alumni Association and CCNY community for this honor. Thank you to the Commonwealth Fund for helping to sponsor this inspiring event. I stand on the shoulders of so many. I'm fortunate to have the support of my family, my parents for giving me the gusto to challenge the impossible, my brothers who are always there to lend their ears, friends who I met at CCNY and who are still co-conspirators today, my husband and children who are so supportive of my journey. This award is extremely meaningful to me. I first became enamored with City College when I was a senior at Brooklyn Tech High School. I came to the campus to take college courses and fell in love with the people and the environment. As a first-generation Haitian American, I found my tribe here at CCNY. So many first-generation and international students seeking to achieve their dreams and make their families proud. CCNY's excellent and affordable public education made that possible and is something that I believe must continue to today. A public university with people and faculty from diverse ancestry, a global microcosm of the world in a great city, and in Harlem, filled with its own richness and history of triumph and survival. It was an incredible place to grow into adulthood. The juxtaposition of so much hope and possibility with so much inequity really strengthened my commitment to contribute and give back. There's so many jewels at City College. Attending the Sophie Davis School of Biomedical Education was such a rich foundation. I discovered mentors like Dr. Jack Geiger, who was a professor here and founded Physicians for Human Rights, launched community health centers. He understood that health was more than just healthcare, that equity matters, that civil rights matter, concepts of equity and social justice that I was introduced to in his classroom right here are the backbone of the work I do today. During my time at CCNY, I was introduced to a network of Black women physician leaders, such as Dr. Muriel Pidioni, matron of Harlem Health, founder of Susan Smith McKinney Medical Society for Women, and co-founder of the Coalition of 100 Black Women, a mentoring program for young women interested in sciences and medicine. Through this program, I was able to shadow Dr. Pettione and other Black physicians and observed my first birth at Harlem Hospital. My experiences at CCNY planted seeds which sprouted repeatedly throughout my career, a clear indication that representation matters. Today, looking back to 1997, now a physician, a mother, working to make health systems better for the people in them, I am an example of what is possible and what so many can become when afforded opportunities and experiences. I leave you with 3 key thoughts that have always guided me. 1, be open to new possibilities, always willing to try new things and new opportunities. I've had a non-traditional career in medicine, public health, policy, health systems, and now philanthropy, but it required pushing boundaries set by others and also boundaries set by myself. Reframing the impossible and embracing fear, 2 sides of the same coin. 2, sometimes you can't take no for an answer. In a society where often what you can and cannot do is seemingly black and white, I have learned to be okay with being the first, only, and different, as Shonda Rhimes says. Leaning into what makes you unique, diverse, that is a superpower. And recognizing, as I said earlier, it is on the shoulders of many that I stand, and opening doors for others behind me is key, so that is no longer the norm. 3, being okay with things that motivate you. What's the fire in your belly? It's okay to trail new paths, to think outside of the box, and get comfortable with saying yes to opportunities less traveled. Again, thank you so much to CCNY, to the Sophie Davis School of Biomedical Education, and to all of you for this award.
In you, Lori Zephyrin, your alma mater has particular reason to rejoice. Dr. Ralph A. Zingaro graduated from the City College in 1946 with a bachelor's degree in chemistry. He went on to receive both his master's and PhD degrees in chemistry from the University of Kansas. Dr. Zingaro received a Faculty Research Award from Texas A&M University in 1967. He was a Fulbright Fellow with the University of Buenos Aires in 1972. His contributions to the field of chemistry have resulted in 7 United States patents, 1 on Kodak Electron Detectors 3. He also holds a Japanese patent. Last year, Dr. Zingaro made headlines after it was discovered that a compound that he helped create at a Texas A&M lab half a century ago is being used to cure a specific kind of cancer through clinical trials in Japan.
It is with pride, but also with great humility, that I accept this award. I owe so much to the City College of New York for affording me a first-class education at such low cost. I remember 2 professors, Dr. Benjamin Harrow and Barnett Naiman, who offered me constructive criticism and utilitarian advice. I am very thankful to President Vince Boudreau and Dr. Stephen O'Brien for submitting my nomination. They were ably assisted by Miss Dee Dee Mogileski. I would be remiss if I failed to mention the valuable laboratory assistance I received from Dr. Robert K. Thompson and Miss Catherine Banks. The invention was first reported in 1979 but remained dormant until 1998. At that time, I visited the Sloan Kettering Institute in New York. They suggested that I get this information over to Dr. Emil Freireich at the MD Anderson Center in Texas. which I did upon my return. Freireich was very receptive and was able to obtain venture capital. A Japanese pharmaceutical company, Solasia, carried out thorough and professional clinical studies for 8 or 9 years. They submitted a report to the FDA of Japan, and commercialization of this compound is expected in 2022. I thank the City College Alumni Foundation, headed by Mr. David Covington, for extending to me this honor. Thanks again for your attention, and may you be blessed with good health and good news.
In you, Ralph A. Zingaro, your alma mater has particular reason to rejoice.
Congratulations to all the 2021 Townsend Harris medalists. What an inspiring group. You are all proof that City College is the engine of social mobility and change. It is a campus that continues to morph and change and improve. Speaking of improvements, one of the most dramatic improvements of the campus in the past decade has taken place where I am now, the South Campus. Just past 135th Street, the South Campus houses the City College Center for Discovery and Innovation and the CUNY Advanced Science Research Center. These state-of-the-art facilities are a magnet for international researchers as well as students interested in STEM fields, faculty and scientists working across multiple disciplines. AcademicInfluence.com lists City College among its 50 best research universities in the US for undergraduates. Also on the South Campus, the Spitzer School of Architecture, which celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2019, as well as Aaron Davis Hall, which is where we are headed now. Aaron Davis Hall, now under the auspices of the City College Center for the Arts, is a cultural hub that builds a sense of community both within the college and the surrounding neighborhood, while inspiring creativity and diversity. It is a premier venue for local and national performers and for art patrons in the tri-state area. To introduce our next segment, please welcome Greg Shank, Managing Director of the City College Center for the Arts.
Good evening. My name is Gregory Shank, and I'm the Managing Director of the City College Center for the Arts. Welcome to Aaron Davis Hall, City College's Art Center and home to City College Center for the Arts. Before I introduce the next performer, I'd like to congratulate the Alumni Association of the City College of New York and all of this evening's Townsend Harris medalists. I was first introduced to our performer way back in 2017 when she received a special grant from the CUNY Dance Initiative program to perform here in Aaron Davis Hall. The beautifully executed presentation was energetic and entertaining. She created such an immersive experience that drew everyone in, including the audience and the live music accompaniment. And of course, her choreography and dancing was nothing short of brilliant. I proudly introduce you to Marielis Garcia, recipient of CCNY 2020 MFA degree from Digital and Interdisciplinary Art Practice.
the Alumni Association? We want you to save the date. The next annual meeting is scheduled to take place on Thursday, June 9th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Elections, performances, alumni service awards. It's an event not to be missed. More details to be announced in the coming months. Stay tuned. Congratulations to all of you celebrating a milestone anniversary as a graduate of City College. We wish we were able to welcome you back to campus to celebrate this year. But while we wait for the next opportunity to show you the Great Hall in person, we thought it important to give thanks for what this great institution means to you, to all of us. We asked alumni celebrating their 10th, 25th, and 50th anniversaries, what does City College mean to you? Here is what they had to say.
When I was at City College, my dad was also going there for his master's degree. I received a fantastic education at CCNY and made lifelong friends.
I'm grateful to CCNY for providing the foundation for my career in medicine. Thank you very much, CCNY.
City was the best of America to me. A meritocracy, a haven for spirited intellectual debate, and a force for change.
I got a great education at CCNY that launched me into Columbia Law School and a 50-year career as a lawyer. I made great friends there who remain my friends to this day. I grew up at CCNY. It was and remains a very important and special place that deserves our support.
City College taught me to be intellectually demanding. We must struggle to make the world a better place. Every generation of graduates makes the place a better place to live. Support CCNY. It's supporting the world.
CCNY provided me with an opportunity to expand my academic capabilities and to develop new friendships that have lasted me a lifetime. But most importantly, CCNY's education gave me the credentials and career track which enabled me to provide a comfortable lifestyle for my family.
Sturdy sons of City College, trusty hearts and mighty hands, rally where you're streaming banner with this dauntless emblem stands.
Congratulations to all our reunion classes. We look forward to welcoming you back to campus once it is safe to do so. And now for our Finley Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2021 John H. Finley Award.
As the third president of the City College of New York, John H. Finley championed the concept of dedicated service to the community as the first principle of good citizenship. To this end, he introduced the use of the ancient Athenian Ephebic oath as part of each commencement ceremony. Now located at the Finley Student Center in the North Academic Center, this bronze sculpture of Dr. Finley was gifted to him in honor of his 70th birthday. Established in 1948 by the class of 1918, the Alumni Association presents the John H. Finley Award annually to a New Yorker who has proven exemplary and dedicated service to the city of New York. To help me present this year's Finley Award, I'd like to welcome the Vice President of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, Mr. Larry Greengrass.
Good evening. My name is Larry Greengrass, class of 73 and first Vice President of the Alumni Association of the City College of New York. It is my distinct honor to present tonight's John H. Finley Award to Dr. Deborah Lipstadt, class of 1969. I am especially grateful for the opportunity to present this award tonight to Ms. Lipstadt, because my own parents were survivors of the Auschwitz concentration camp who came to this country to seek a better life. One of the leading Holocaust historians in the world, Deborah Lipstadt, is the Dorot Professor of Modern Jewish History and Holocaust Studies at Emory University, where she was the founding director of the Institute for Jewish Studies. As Javier mentioned in his introduction, the Finley Award is presented annually to a citizen who does not have to be a graduate of the college, but who has proven exemplary and dedicated service to the city of New York, the state, and the nation. We have, in my humble opinion, selected a recipient of whom we can be most proud. Dr. Lipstadt is a graduate of City College, and this is not the first time the association has honored her. She is also a Townsend Harris medalist awarded in 2009. In her research into Holocaust deniers, Dr. Lipstadt not only defends the best documented example of genocide in the world, she uncovers a deliberate effort to distort history. She exposes the pervasive and intricate patterns of anti-Semitism, and, perhaps most important, she encourages all of us to go on the offensive against alternative facts, against all those who assault the truth. As she has so aptly pointed out in her many presentations on Holocaust denial, quote, "Truth is not relative," close quote. And in truth, we are so proud of you and your work, Dr. Lipstadt.
Dr. Deborah Lipstadt is one of the world's leading Holocaust historians. She was born in 1947 to a Jewish family in New York City and grew up in Far Rockaway, Queens. Dr. Lipstadt received a BA in Political Science from the City College in 1969 and her MA and PhD from Brandeis University. After receiving her doctorate, Dr. Lipstadt began her career, which included teaching at the University of Washington in Seattle and UCLA, director of the independent Brandeis Bardeen Institute, writing a monthly column for the Jewish Spectator, and a research fellowship from the Vidal Sassoon International Center for the Study of Anti-Semitism at Hebrew University of Jerusalem, where she focused on Holocaust denial. In 1993, Dr. Lipstadt became an assistant professor of religion at Emory University in Atlanta. Since then, she has become a prominent figure in academia and government. Dr. Lipstadt was the founding director of Emory University's Tiam Institute for Jewish Studies. She currently serves as professor of modern Jewish and Holocaust studies at Emory. In 1996, she made headlines when British author David Irving sued her for calling him a Holocaust denier. Dr. Lipstadt won the 6-year legal battle that ensued and wrote the award-winning bestseller History on Trial, My Day in Court with David Irving. The book became a film titled Denial in 2016, and Oscar-winning actress Rachel Weisz portrayed Dr. Lipstadt. Dr. Lipstadt's expertise has been called upon by members of Congress and Presidents George W. Bush and Bill Clinton. Mr. Clinton appointed her to 2 consecutive terms on the United States Holocaust Museum Council, where she served as a historical consultant for the museum. In addition, she was a member of the U.S. State Department Advisory Committee on Religious Freedom Abroad. This year, she was nominated by President Joe Biden for an ambassadorship position at the Office to Monitor and Combat Anti-Semitism. In recognition of her accomplishments, Dr. Lipstadt's honors include the 2005 Al Chernon Award from the Jewish Council for Public Affairs and 2009 Townsend Harris Medal from the City College Alumni Association. She has honorary doctorates from several institutions, among them the City University of New York's John Jay College, Ohio Wesleyan University, Hebrew Union College, Yeshiva University, and the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. In you, Deborah Lipstadt, your alma mater has particular reason to rejoice.
I want to sincerely thank the Alumni Association of City College of New York for honoring me with the John Finley Award. To be on a list that includes Jimmy Breslin, Pete Hamill, and Joe Namath is no small thing. But speaking in all due seriousness, I owe a tremendous debt to City College of New York. I got an education there. I was taught many things, but most importantly, I was taught how to think. I was taught how to question. I was taught not to be satisfied with what you were being told, but to challenge. I was taught to explore, and it was a gift. It was a gift that came at a very low tuition. It was a gift that came, actually there was no tuition. I think we just had administrative fees. It was an exciting place. And much to my great delight, I have watched over the past couple of decades as it has returned to its former glory. In fact, more than that, it surpassed it. City College of New York is one of the jewels in the crown of the city of New York. It has given so much to so many people, and as I've gone on in my life, I am always very proud when in my bio, it doesn't matter where I'm speaking or where I'm lecturing, where I'm being introduced, when they say I'm a graduate of City College of New York. And invariably, someone will come up to me and say, I went to City College, my kids went to City College, my brother, sister went to City College. It's an amazing place. And as I said, the way it's grown in recent decades, the way it's developed, the minds it's challenged. I've met many of the students now on campus, and it's just an exciting place to be. So I want to thank you from the depths of my heart for this honor. I also know that as I go through life, I've made my profession, my area of interest, fighting anti-Semitism, teaching about the Holocaust, teaching about genocide, teaching about hate, teaching about what happens when people remain silent. And there was something about City College that taught us, don't be silent. Challenge, learn, and develop, grow, and most of all, change the world. I don't think I've changed the world, but if I've had a little bit of an impact on it, or whatever impact I've had on it, it's much to the credit of City University. So it's with deep gratitude that I accept this award, and thank you from the depths of my heart.
Thank you for joining us this evening, Dr. Lipstadt. You are an inspiration, and we are so proud of you and your accomplishments. And tonight, you joined a very select group of alumni who have both the Townsend Harris Medal and the Finley Award. Distinctions well deserved. Congratulations. Good evening, everyone. My name is David Covington, and I'm honored to serve as the Executive Director of this Alumni Association. And congratulations once again to our Townsend Harris medalists, Joel Dreyfus, Richard Fazzini, Dr. Alan Fleischman, Miles Lewitt, Lynn Scott Jackson, Dr. Laurie Zephyrin, and Dr. Ralph Zingaro. It has been an honor getting to know and meet you these past few months. Honoring alumni accomplishment and service is an important part of our mission. Our Townsend Harris medalists should be proud of their accomplishments and the company they now keep as Townsend Harris medalists. Though it should be noted that the Townsend Harris Medal award ceremony also serves another purpose. Joel, Richard, Alan, Miles, Lynn, Laurie, Ralph, your award and the participation in the association serves as a shining example for our young alumni of just how powerful a City College of New York education is, how much you can achieve when focused and driven, how much your network can help, and how giving back to your community is an important part of living a meaningful and full life. And to that end, when I reflect on how I give back to my community, it's a Winston Churchill quote that always comes to mind. You make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give. If you can't tell, this event is an extremely important part of our annual programming, which is one reason why we pressed forward with planning another virtual event, despite the challenges presented by the coronavirus pandemic. In addition to serving as our primary method of honoring alumni achievement, it has historically been an exciting social event and critical fundraiser for us. Well, we, like many nonprofits around the city, have had a really rough year and a half. We have absolutely been affected financially by the pandemic. And while there have been some signs of a return to normal activity, we are not there yet. If you haven't already, please check out the suggested donation and sponsorship levels on your screen or at ccnyalumni.org/2021 Gala. Help us to continue an unbroken 168 years of service to our fellow graduates, students, and this incredible college. No donation amount is too small. As a reminder, we are an independent alumni association and do not receive operating funds from the college or university. And thank you in advance for your support. Before I hand it back to Javier for the conclusion, I want to thank our presenters, staff, volunteers, and the many individuals who worked on this virtual gala. Despite the challenges presented by the COVID-19 Delta variant that kept us physically apart again this year, I hope you enjoyed this presentation and this chance to gather virtually with City College alumni from around the world. And thank you, all of you who have watched, toasted, dined, and lounged with us this evening. We appreciate your participation, and we look forward to your continued participation in the oldest alumni association tied to a public college. We are City College strong. We overcome challenges. We persevere. Our resilience is our superpower. And I, for one, am proud to be part of this City College family. And just because this presentation ends doesn't mean you need to take off your lavender and black. We hope you go forth and wear your City College colors with pride. Talk about City College, how well it's doing, how it's changed your life, and how you know it continues to change lives every day. Go Beavers. Javier, back to you.
Thank you, David. And thank you to all the generous organizations and individuals who supported this event through their sponsorship of the event. Underwriters for the event are listed on the program page of your journal. And congratulations once again to each of our honorees. Thank you for joining us tonight for our program. I want to remind you to participate in this incredible network of alumni. Become a member, serve on a committee, attend an event, follow us on social media, share your success story with us and with each other. However you choose to be involved, keep talking about City College. Be an advocate for the college. And stay connected. We are stronger together. Now, the event isn't over. Stick around for some entertainment. We know you're going to enjoy this. I am very pleased to introduce, from the class of 2015, Charnay Betton and her jazz ensemble.
everything will change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. No one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. Yes, everything will change. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon. Yes, everything will change. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Les gens devenus vous et les mystères se dévoilant, parce que c'est le chameau du temps. Rien ni personne n'est resté en champ. The young become the old, del nuée, les cieux illuminés, le ciel et des colibris pour voler. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and music makes me
that shines above the stars so bright, the mystery of the fading light that shines above the caravan. Oh, now sleep beside me when your shoulders sleep, the mystery of the fading dream that shines above the caravan. This is so exciting. You are so inviting. Resting in my arms as I thrill to the magic of your charm. You beside me as I creep so soon. The mystery of the fading dream that shines above the caravan. That shines the light so bright, the mystery of the fading light that shines above the caravan. Wanna sleep beside my dreams so they come, the mystery of the fading dream that shines above the caravan. Now this is so exciting. You are so inviting. Never resting in my arms as I thrill to the magic of your shoulder. You beside me here beneath the blue. My dreams of love are coming true. That shines above the caravan. That shines above the caravan. That shines above the caravan.